Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the season finale of season one of Dumbass Film Students. We are here, of course, to give our dumbass, irrelevant opinions about these films that these great filmmakers are making and, getting the budgets for and putting on the big screen. And here we are just, criticizing or praising, depending on how we feel. And so my name is Rudy Wilson. I'm one of the dumbasses. We got my guy Lonnie Cox in the building. And then, of course, Daryl D.A. Henry. Don't forget the D or the A.
And the Henry.
And the Henry.
Guys. This is probably the longest first season of a show that I know. 30 episodes.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you feel me? I mean, we're trying to get syndicated quickly. You feel me? All we gotta do is make it to 100 episodes. You feel me? So get your shit together. Get them residuals, the residual checks looking fat. You feel me? But this was, I don't even know if it would really been a end of a season if it wasn't for the holidays. Like if this would have been, if we would have started this like January, this would have still, we'd have just been just saying like in the summertime or something. We probably would have just kept going, honestly. So this actually was good because it helped me to figure out a system of being able to break it down in seasons as opposed to a never ending train of just going. So it worked out.
I actually grew up watching Martin. This is for the audience.
Oh my gosh.
They were
this is why you cannot crack jokes around people who are not comics. They hang on to shit. I totally forgot about that whole thing.
I'm not defending myself. I'm saying that I grew up watching Martin and I actually prefer it over Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That was 30 minutes ago, sir.
That's why I was bringing it up. I didn't get my chance to speak because I was eating.
Yeah. No, I got you. Martin over Fresh Prince. I mean,
I'm trying to remember who he was, but Martin's like best friend on the show. He lived down here. He lived in Miami, and I used to see him all the time. He lived in my neighborhood, and I used to see him at like Chicken Kitchen as a kid growing up. He was like one of the people in my neighborhood. All I remember is he had very short hair. Maybe even bald, but I don't remember. I'm having a hard time like remembering the show, but I remember like the best friend character grew up in my neighborhood. Like was he the
shorter one, or was he the shorter one or the taller one?
Short. He was a short guy.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, because I remember hearing about him living in Florida or something like that. So that's why.
Yeah. He lived in He like lived in my neighborhood, and I would see him. He was like one of the people like Tim Hardaway and the Marleys.
Right. Got you. Yeah. Yeah, but no, Martin was dope. I mean, actually, my parents actually stopped us from watching when we were younger. We used to watch it, but then they just thought it was way too inappropriate for kids of our age. Like, so I didn't really pick it back up until I got maybe like college when I started like watching it again. But even still, I haven't seen like every episode. I've seen a lot, but like Fresh Prince, Jamie Foxx show, and My Wife and Kids, I've literally seen every episode of every season on all three of those shows, probably several times.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched Martin and the Boondocks the most. I don't know.
I didn't really watch Boondocks like that. I watched Boondocks, but I didn't really watch it like that.
Yeah, third season when the creator actually left, it becomes iffy. But it's still good.
I ain't never really watched like too many like long running shows that long. Like whether it was Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park, any shows that's like been on TV forever. I've always had like a period where I've watched like here and there type whatever. But it's none of those shows I've ever just been like just watch. You know what I'm saying? I probably watched The Simpsons more when I was a kid than I did a little bit older. But SpongeBob maybe I've seen a lot of SpongeBob.
You
That's
probably
pretty long.
Be able to watch any anime because a lot of animes are still going.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the fact that they're still going. I'm just saying, like I don't know, just it's because none of those I don't consider like anime. I don't know. I just didn't really stick with them. I guess.
Oh, I'm saying animes. I think. Okay, so I think. Yeah, for what is it called? One Piece. It has almost. Like Shania said, almost 1,000 episodes.
But I'm saying, but I would watch 1,000 episodes of something that I liked. Is what I'm saying. I don't think it's, but I don't know what it was about those. It wasn't that they were reoccurring. It just was the fact that I just stopped. Is what I'm saying. But I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have an explanation for it. But it wasn't because I was like, oh, there's too many episodes. I don't know. The shows I be wanting to have 1,000 episodes, they be ending. They be getting canceled and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you feel me? So it's kind of like, I tell you one show before we move on. Now, this is one show that I loved, and they had a pretty long run, which was Boy Meets World. Okay, Boy Meets World was lit, and they were young when they started, and they was grown when they stopped. Like before, I mean, they got a reboot now with Girl Meets World or whatever, and I didn't see that, but they Corey and Topanga and Shauna, I mean, they were there for a while. Like Mr. Feeney, they were there for a while.
I actually, before we do move on,
the cat like she about to commit suicide off the side of the couch. Jesus Christ. What is she doing?
She's looking at this cord that's hanging. So there's this show called the Black Lady Sketch Show. Have you guys seen it at all?
I've seen it. I saw like an episode or two. It was on HBO.
I heard about it. I didn't see it though. Yeah.
It's like the hardest thing to. It's not hard to watch, but I feel like, and I was asking Shania about this. I was like, "Am I sexist or something?" Because I cannot get engaged with what they're saying in their comedy show, in their comedy sketch.
That don't make you sexist to me because you don't like. Because I mean, I don't know what all shows you watch, but like I don't like all women cast shows or whatever. But I do like the Parkers. To me, I think was one of the funniest sitcoms I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? And that's female dominant. You feel what I'm saying? I still watch it now on Netflix.
Well, I had asked her because I had after watching a couple of the episodes of that, I moved on to Good Trouble. I believe that's the show, and it's again one of the hardest things to watch. And I'm like, oh my god, I think I might. I think the problem is that when it comes to women's shows, I think they're trying to be so politically correct, and it's so hard to engage because I feel like if you're going to be funny, which is one of the things about the Black Lady Comedy Show, sketch show, they were trying to be funny, but they were also trying to be politically correct, and I think that takes away from the humor because they're hitting on political topics that, I mean, interesting, but I want you to make me laugh.
Right.
The reason I got into comedy is because of a show created by a woman. 30 Rock is one of my favorite shows of all time.
30 Rock.
And 30 Rock. That show does not try to be politically correct, but it does talk about a lot of political issues. And like I remember,
but it's men on that show, right?
There are men on the show, but I mean Tina Fey created it. And
but I guess what I'm saying, but are you saying the women who are actually on it or the women who are writing it? You saying like the women because there's a bunch of women on camera that on the show that you're talking about, or just I'm talking about you, DA. Yeah, the show that you're talking about is it a bunch of women on camera or is it mixed like a 30 Rock as far as like the people who are performing?
With the Black Lady sketch show, it's all women. So all the women play the guys' roles. They do the whole makeup like. Like
right. So that's why I was saying. So sorry to cut you off, but that's the point I was making is to what you were about to say, Lonnie. I think that might be the difference in what it is, and on top of that, they're Black women, so I'm sure it's an even more like hesitation that they probably have as far as like trying to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I know about 30 Rock, but I never watched it. But I mean, I love Tina Fey when I see her in movies and stuff. So she's definitely funny. So I definitely believe what you're saying in reference to like whatever rawness it had, Lonnie. But I this is my assumption. I think because it was a mixed cast, and it wasn't just all Black women trying to do this, this first of a lifetime type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it just probably it just was able to work out different. And
I mean, 30 Rock, like Tina Fey was one of the writers, but also like so was Hannibal Buress and Donald Glover, and it was like super diverse to the point where they didn't have to worry about like if they were offending anybody because they kind of offended everybody. You know what I mean? So like they have an episode where Tina Fey wants to break up with Wayne Brady, and Wayne Brady is like holding it over her that he's black and that if she breaks up with him, she's racist.
Right.
And she, at one point she's like, can't we just be at a place where I don't like you and it has nothing to do with your skin color?
Right.
And he's like, no, we're not there yet. Like we just haven't gotten there as a society. And that shit is just fucking great.
Right.
Like,
right.
you know, like it's like an honor to get shot at the Source Awards. Like that shit is brilliant to talk about, man. They call out Bill Cosby years before anybody knew about Bill Cosby. Hannibal Buress was a writer for them. So yeah, just great show, man. I definitely recommend you watching it at one point.
Is it on? Is it streaming somewhere?
Hulu and Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
I think it's also on because
it's a sketch show.
It's on Peacock.
No, it's a show.
Like
and then
TikTok.
Alec Baldwin, oh my God, dude, he's so good. And Tracy Morgan. And it also has like, I guarantee you no show has more cameos than 30 Rock. Like just because they're filming in 30 Rock. So anybody that was famous like on Conan O'Brien or David Letterman that was like stopping by, like they could just literally get in the elevator and come down and do a scene. So they have so many famous people on that show. It's my favorite show of all time.
Gotcha. What you saying, DA?
I was saying it's also on Peacock.
Right. Yeah, it's an NBC show.
But I actually had Shania watch one of the skits from the Black. Apparently, she didn't want me to mention her. She's choking on water. But I had her watch one to see if it was just me. She even had a hard time like engaging in it. I think
that's what I'm saying. So you probably just didn't like it. I don't think that has anything to do.
It's also possible it's just not a good show. Like
right, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think that has anything. Right.
But the thing is, I went like that. That's the thing. I thought that, but then I also went to that. Like I said, the Good Trouble, and I was like, God,
there's more than one bad show, DA.
I know, but it's just the fact that
it's not like well, this was the one bad show in the world, so now this one has to be good. No, you can just not like multiple
Broad
shows.
City is fucking hilarious. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Broad City, but that's all women.
I never heard of it.
Oh, Shania said she didn't like that.
See?
Fuck you. No.
Wait, I don't. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Anyways. So on to what we're here to do, gentlemen. We got 3 films, all found on Disney Plus, not necessarily made by Disney, but definitely owned by Disney. A Wrinkle in Time, Tuck Everlasting, and Fantastic Mr. Fox. That is the order. Shout out to all the filmmakers, actors, grips, gaffers, dolly grips, PAs, mothers of all these people who produced these, made them. You guys are the real heroes, okay? We're not destroying your films, just giving our feedback on how we feel. All right, here we go. 2018, a film named A Wrinkle in Time was distributed. Directed by Ava DuVernay, starring Storm Reed, Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon, and a host of others. You guys know what time it is. Let's use those thumbs for good use. Don't stick them up your butt. All right. On the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'm like at a 4.
I'm just
trash. And this is why I'm gonna say that, because this is actually my second time seeing this, and the reason why I picked it is because I remember seeing it for the first time.
Wait.
Listen to me.
Oh, wait.
I remember. Listen to me.
Oh.
Listen.
You know this movie. No one that movie.
Up.
Highly up.
I saw this movie already, and I picked it again because I remember thinking to myself like, yo, I remember seeing A Wrinkle in Time, I don't remember liking it that much, but maybe I wasn't really paying attention. You know what I'm saying? This was before film school. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So I'm just like, you know what? This would be a good time. We got to pick something from here. Y'all said y'all ain't seen it. Cool. Whatever. Because y'all realize I was also asking about other movies in the group chat because I low-key wanted to choose something else because I started to be more and more convinced. Like, I really remember not liking this movie. You know what I'm saying? But then y'all was like, no, I seen this. I seen that. All right, well, cool. We'll just do a Wrinkle In Time. Okay. I didn't like it for multiple reasons, but the reason why I didn't give it just a full-blown thumbs down, and I gave it the 4 because I did think that visually, I thought it was it was a nice looking movie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, certain parts of the sky look kind of crazy at times, you know what I'm saying? But in reference to like costume or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
You are
like it is. What are you talking about? About the sky looking crazy?
I'm talking about your whole statement just now. That was a lie. The lie detector detected that was.
About the sky looking crazy? What are you talking about?
That it was cool. Aren't you not complimenting right now?
First of all, if you're gonna try to come at me, please at least listen to what I'm saying, okay? Sir. What I said that I gave it a 4 and not the complete thumbs down because I thought visually it was a nice looking movie. I said, but the sky did look kind of crazy. Maybe you don't understand what that means. You watching too much Martin. The sky looking kind of crazy, meaning like whatever green screen or whatever effect they were trying to use, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it kind of looked like the top of the mountain at Wakanda, you know what I'm saying, on Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a little, it started to look like a computer screen is what I'm saying. But like I said, costume wise, Reese Witherspoon, you know, Oprah, whatever like that, like stuff like that to me, especially in a kid's movie, I think is very, very interesting. It's very unique. You know what I'm saying? You create these characters. So like, it wasn't like I was watching this and I was like, you know, not only the story is stupid, but the lighting is bad or whatever like that. To me, I just thought it was just a very, very much of a children's movie. And it wasn't one, how most children's movie also know how to like cater to adults as well. This didn't at all. Like this was some kitty shit. And they did, and for the people who were, you know, kind of into whatever, you would just, I don't know, you kind of just expect more, but it wasn't all that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
that's why I say you were like, you know, the costumes and the look, I thought it was very over the top.
Because it's a kid's movie. That's my whole point.
Okay.
That is my whole point. That's the whole point that I'm making.
You're saying it was still over the top.
Okay, so what would you expect? What would you expect for a kid's movie? You don't think that kid? Okay, matter of fact, hold on. Before you even keep going, over
the top.
Before you even keep going,
it should have.
Why do adults talk to kids like this? And they do stuff like that. You know why? They be over the top because that. Listen to me. Because that's
the age.
Yeah, you're just arguing to hear yourself talk. That is what kids like. Kids like make-believe stuff. Why would somebody have anything shoot out of their chest or shoot out of their ring or this person can fly? All of this stuff was created because it's fascinating.
So how old is the main character? Was she not at least in maybe middle school?
What does that have to do with the audience who's watching it? What are you talking about?
To a middle school, goo goo gaga. You don't do that. You don't do that to a middle school kid.
I'm talking about the way that the costumes were over the top. That's the.
I'm saying.
Listen to me. The goo goo gaga is the costumes being over the top. It's not saying, hey, child actor in the movie goo goo gaga. It's, hey, the audience who watches this movie, this is your goo goo gaga. Is my point.
That's what I'm saying. I don't feel like this was for.
Because you're an adult.
No. I don't feel like this movie was for that age that you're, as far as adolescence, if you would say.
I'm not saying it has to be a 1-year-old.
And up.
No. It's not. No, it's going to be elementary school.
The problem with this movie, guys, is that what DA is saying is, yes, if the things were over the top. The problem is things can be over the top. Star Wars is over the top at certain points. Guardians of the Galaxy is over the top. Avatar is over the top. But what they do is they establish a universe. They build the world, and then they can fill it with whatever they want. This movie did none of that. They established all of these like celestial beings. I actually read all 3 books when I was a kid. All of these movies are based on books, and I actually read all 3 of them. So I don't really remember specifically, but I do remember that this movie, like I remember hearing about this movie when it came out and hearing that it did absolutely none. I mean, this book is famous when it's like a young adult children's book. And it did absolutely none of the like world building establishing of this movie. This movie, you can tell that they spent a lot of money to make. Oprah Winfrey, all the computer generated things, and then they had shitty child actors carry the film.
And I didn't even. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The worst 3.
Well,
I mean, they couldn't even.
Go. I'm sorry. I thought, go ahead.
They couldn't even really like deliver their lines at one point. There was one point in the movie where the white kid tells the black girl that he likes her hair, and I'm like,
wait. I was like, when I heard that, I was like, would he like her hair if she was fully black?
Or would you say that to a white girt?
My whole thing was why was this story so black and white like that? When it come down to the mom and the dad and her, like why did that matter? What did that have to do with her going to get her dad? I did not understand that.
Any of it. It didn't have nothing. It was like they had somebody write the beginning of this movie. They had a different team write the middle, and then they had a third team write the end, and nobody talked to each other.
The problem.
What happens in this movie? It's about trying to find the girl's dad. Right? Literally everything else is fucking nonsense.
Right.
Nothing makes sense. This is like a kid's Avatar, right? It was like they were trying to do some of the things of Avatar. There was really only one scene that was cool, which was the like flying kale.
It took up like 30 minutes.
Flying kale.
And but the kids were like,
Reese Witherspoon was the best thing in this movie just because she was the comedic relief. Reese Witherspoon was the best thing in this movie just because she was the comedic relief. Like that was it.
Oh, I mean, I like Zach Galifianakis for a sec.
Yeah. He was good. Yeah, he was good.
I mean, but like Mindy Kaling or Killing or whatever her name was, nonsense. I'm like, okay, cool. You don't need to be in this movie.
Who was that? The one that was repeating everything?
Yeah. And then Chris Pine. Like this movie had good actors in it, but didn't use any. I mean, Oprah Winfrey, man. Like Oprah Winfrey can fucking act, and you like waste her on the. Oh my god. They totally weren't even in the last half of the movie. I'm like,
they just used her to pretty much just like explain everything. You know what I'm saying? Like she was literally the narrator that you could see almost. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what Oprah's whole thing was. Like she just literally was just telling us breaking everything down. This is what this is. This is what this means. This is what you got to do.
I know that we have this game at the end of the movie, but I'm gonna guess that they spent over $100 million making this movie. That's gonna be my guess. Over $100 million to make this movie, and this is the piece of shit that came out for $100 million. You should be ashamed of yourself. Whoever made this movie should be ashamed that you spent $100 million and you couldn't write the fucking script. You already had the script. This is a book. All you got to do is just make it into a script. Shoot it. You got $100 million. Shame on you. Shame on you.
That's actually my point. I think that it chose the wrong director for this. I mean, if you look at her resume, she's made a lot of serious stuff, like
she made some good. She did Central Park 5 or how they see us. What is it called on Netflix?
How they see us now, they see us or whatever.
When they see us or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, okay, this is not. I did the fact that you chose this director who. I was literally watching this and I was like, at the end, I said they should have chose. I even said it earlier in the podcast. I was like, they should have chose Steven Spielberg, somebody who has a childlike mind, to direct this, because then they would have brought it to life a little better. Because
or allow that director to take this movie in a more serious tone. Like this movie could have been a little bit more serious. It could have been a little bit more drama to it. You know what I mean? Because it's dramatic. Like at the end, they're dealing with these like themes that are kind of, you're explaining them to children, but Rudy was talking about trying to relate to adults. There are parts of this movie that should have been relatable to anybody who watched it.
Right.
But this movie felt so like disconnected from itself. Like it never finds a through line. It's almost 2 hours long.
Right.
A big, huge blockbuster movie like this. I don't think I've ever watched a movie that has such production value be so disappointing.
Right. Right.
I mean,
just to list a couple real quick. She directed 13th, Selma, Wrinkle in Time, Middle of Nowhere, Central Park 5, and some other stuff. But that's pretty much like the big stuff she did.
So those were like documentaries, right? Isn't 13 a documentary and Central Park 5 is a documentary?
No, Central Park 5 is basically like a 5-part TV series that she did.
Okay.
And then Selma is a movie.
Selma obviously is that's the movie that I think she was probably nominated for the Academy Award for that movie.
And another thing about this movie, I thought the whole getting bullied thing was so ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. I felt like they were trying to be aware of the time that we were living in, but not aware as well. They were like, all right, we'll be, diverse, but, we'll stick to traditions to what school is like, if that makes sense. I don't know if that
imagine being famous enough that your father is literally being mentioned on the news, that your father disappeared. Your father is this like astrophysicist that works for NASA that has now disappeared. Everyone in the world, it seems like they're in this world that they've created, knows who her father is. And she has nobody on her side. Everybody's like, bah, bah, wish you disappeared. You guys have been to middle school. Everybody has some fucking friends on the other side of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Totally unrealistic. And then why the fuck was the kid's name Christopher Wallace? Like, why did they always say?
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Was this Winnie the Pooh?
Like, what is happening? Oh, and he was awful. Anytime he was out, he was awful. But the real turd was the white boy best friend.
The white boy best,
the third kid, the boyfriend,
right?
Anytime he opened his mouth, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that this is a thing."
Right? Yeah.
Man.
I mean, imagine having Oprah, Chris Pine, Zach Galifianakis, Reese Witherspoon, even the guy. I can't think of his name right now, but the Hispanic dude with the mustache.
I was just thinking about that. Who came to the beach?
That guy's a great actor.
Right.
Rodriguez, I think Michael Rodriguez or something like that. That guy kills movies. End of Watch, and even in like Ant-Man, any scene he's in, he steals. And imagine having all those actors and letting these kids like take the reins of your film. It's like I don't even understand the mentality behind that.
Right.
I mean, I guess the only thing that I do like about the movie is the message that, only love can conquer hate, if that's what I got, at least, because the whole darkness, and they magically ended up loving each other at the end.
And that's why it was way too on the nose. It was literally saying like, you have to, the darkness, and it wasn't even like a metaphor. It was just literally like, yeah, darkness is up there. That's what's evil. You got to beat it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying to pay it some kind of compliment because
I tried to too, but you didn't like the glitter eyebrows, the stripper eyebrows that Oprah had.
I know Oprah's outfits were always over the top. I'm like, what?
I liked her crystal dress. That was cool. Her like see-through crystal.
Yeah. It was an over the top movie. This whole world. I mean, they were in big rainbow fields of grass and shit. I mean,
the visual effects were cool, but they did not do enough to like hold the movie. If that makes sense? Like Avatar is not a good movie, but the visual effects kind of carry the film.
What
I mean?
What?
I like the Avatar.
Did you say Avatar with the blue people?
Yeah, it's not a great movie.
I like the Avatar.
It's okay. I would give it like a 5 or a 6. It's not, but it's not alike. Huh?
Who are you? You're not Lonnie. I don't know.
Dude, Avatar. You think Avatar is like a good story?
I think Avatar is a great story.
The acting is good, and it's not just like a vehicle to show off James Cameron's new technology.
Talk about their acting.
Huh?
How are you going to talk about their acting? It's CGI.
That's my point. It's not a good movie. Like, it's not. It's an excuse to show off new technology and new things. It's like very heavy-handed. It's fucking Pocahontas.
What the hell? No.
Base Pocahontas.
No, it's not.
That's literally what that movie is.
No, it's not.
It's low-key Pocahontas.
It is definitely Pocahontas. They have the fucking tree.
Pocahontas wrong, man. Sure.
It's Pocahontas. But anyway, Avatar's effects carry a like mediocre film to one that we talk about, right? Like we talk about Avatar as a film, and this movie will A Wrinkle in Time. It'll fucking disappear in time in a couple of years. This movie is The Wrinkle in Time.
This is probably why. That's actually probably why they were trying to advertise it so heavily, because they knew it was so bad. Like I don't know if you guys remember all the advertisement, but they were like, oh, we had to do it with a black woman director, we had to do it like this, like that, and I'm like, they're trying to hit all these targets.
Yes, I do remember. I remember when this movie came out, and then I remember after it came out, I remember them spending like a tremendous amount of money on it, and then it being a very big disappointment. Like I remember, this is why Disney, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Disney has now moved away from the live action kind of like originals and is now doing their like remakes. And this movie is one of the reasons, because they're like, we're just not hitting it with the live action films.
After Lion King, they probably even rethinking more of their strategy.
Lion King made it, the money. People just didn't like it afterwards, but like people went and saw it. Like it made the money. Lion King made over $1 billion. Like it made the money.
Did it $1 billion?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I can look it up right now. Lion King made the money.
I'm looking it up right now. Don't tell us. What if we actually bring it on the show?
We ain't watching that shit. Trust me. That shit, you can watch that shit on your own.
I haven't watched the new Aladdin or the new Lion King just because I want them to like stay in my mind as the cartoons, you know?
Right.
Watch another bad movie. That's all.
So okay, so I say that Avatar is Pocahontas, right? The Lion King is Hamlet. Like that is the story of Hamlet.
Yeah, it is. It is
retold.
Right.
But it's not. Nobody looks at the Lion King as like, oh, that's a shitty Hamlet. It's no. You watch this film and it becomes its own thing. Avatar did not overcome its story. Does that make sense?
Right.
I definitely think it did. That's just
me. The new Lion King, their budget was 260 million. Mind you, this is a star-studded cast as well, and it was CGI, whatever. But they made
like half of that.
They made 1.657 billion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they made their money.
What the fuck?
Yeah, granted, people didn't like it as much, whatever afterwards. But just like us, like I went and saw it, you went, like DA saw it, like
$1.6 billion.
The moment I saw it, I was like, "This is a fucking disappointment."
Yeah.
How much did Avengers cost to make? Like the last Avengers?
Dexter, get away from me farting, man.
Well, that one I'll wait on, because we actually that one might come up to be one.
Okay.
So I wait on that one. But yeah. But Lion King, they made their money. But anyways, back to Wrinkle in Time. So anything else for Wrinkle in Time?
Fuck this movie.
Fuck this.
If you want to waste your life away.
Like I said, I remember watching it the first time and I was just like, man, I don't think I like this movie. Let me see. And the second time
I'm highly disappointed that you watched this shit and then you made us watch this shit.
But I haven't seen it since probably 2018 when it came out. Like, and I don't remember being like zoned in on it.
Forgot the movie.
Did you see this movie in the theaters, Rudy?
I don't even remember. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even remember. I just remember watching it because I remember like hearing about it. So I remember like, oh, let me go check this shit out. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then I just remember watching. I just remember thinking like, I don't think I really like that. Like that shit was kind of trash. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I just didn't get it. So
that should have been key right there. You forget a movie, you don't go watch.
But had you ever seen it? No. So now you have,
and I made the right decision to never watch it.
It didn't cost you anything.
It cost me.
You already.
It cost me 2 hours and a half of my life that I want back.
So, what you gonna do with him? Hang up some more Christmas stockings on the wall?
Yeah. No, he's gonna watch more episodes of Martin to prove stuff to us.
Prove his blackness. All right, moving right along, man. Tuck Everlasting, 2002 film, director Jay Russell, starring Alex Bledel.
Alexis, I think is her name.
Maybe it's Alexis. It is Alexis. Alexis Bledel and Sissy Spacek.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I apologize for fucking up everybody's names.
William Hurt. It's a good cast. John Rhys Meyers.
All right, cool. So
it's a good movie. It's a good cast.
Okay. Tuck Everlasting. Let's vote on it. On the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'm at a 4 again. Same thing for me. This is my first time seeing it. I probably actually give this a 3. This movie to me, I really felt like you talking about some over the top shit, not so much with like the look, but like this was like, whew, like this movie almost could have been rated G. You know what I'm saying? Like it was some gumball ass shit. Like it was like, like does this, you know, I mean, like, first of all, there was nothing scary about a man who's looking for people who cannot be harmed. So it's not even like their life is on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like so that's not what we're worried about. So we're really just wondering what's going to make him the bad guy when he finally reaches this Tuck family he's looking for, right? And he reaches the Tuck family, and his whole thing is, show me where the stream is, so basically I can monopolize or whatever. You know, I can make money, whatever. And for some reason, they wanted to risk their lives to stop him from doing that. I don't really get it. I don't see why I would stand in the way of this man doing that. I mean, what was it really? Because once again, a kiddie movie who did not cater to anybody but the kids. And this was, and I was literally.
Well, I think this was more towards the like teenage girl.
Yeah, this is like a young adult kind of film. 10, 11 years old watching Disney Channel.
But even more in particular, the white audience of that age group. And the reason why I say that is because like I've seen other like Disney like bubblegum ass movies that, you know, probably like more heavily like Black Handed or whatever, that I do remember liking at that age. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen since I've been older and realized like, yeah, this ain't as good as I thought it was when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So like it was for me, and I'm not saying like it being like for the white audience is like a negative, but I'm saying like it was even more like I felt like I was watching like the movie version of the stage play version of Cinderella version of something. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like nothing in this world could really go wrong. You know what I'm saying? It just, I don't know. This was I was tuning out a lot when I was watching this movie.
I mean, from the part besides the fact that, you know, watching it again felt extremely long. I did, however, I still somewhat enjoyed it. You know, I felt like, you know, I don't know. It took me back to the first time I ever like actually paid attention to like movies, and the first time seeing a movie go from book to a movie. And so I actually, you know, personally, you know, a lot of people say the books are always better. I actually thought
the book was better on this one. This is actually the only one out of the 3 the book that I've read when I was a kid.
I think we all had to read this book.
I remember I read it in elementary school, exactly. And I remember, sorry to cut you off, DA, but I was thinking this while I was watching this. My imagination of how this played out when I was a kid in my head reading the book was way different than what I watched, is how I felt.
To each his own. So, but like I said, I still enjoyed it, and I love the whole, like everything the message about it, seeing her actually trapped in this prison. They actually had that shot where she was behind the bars and then going to freedom and being able to just be a child and be free. I thought that was beautiful. And then she had to come to a decision at the end of the movie to have basically eternal life or be able to
why were they hiding? Why were they hiding? Can we answer that? What's the real reason why they didn't want to be found out? What was the consequence of being found out?
I think the consequence was the act, like what they say. People use it for evil. Think about, okay. This may be like extremely bad, but think about it. What if, worst case scenario, what if Hitler found it? If I'm Hitler and I'm trying to establish this dominant, government in the world, all right, God damn it, Dexter, go away from me farting. My dog keep farting. All my men drink it, they won't die, and we all live forever.
Right.
Hitler reigned forever.
I get that. But now let's bring this back to the world that they lived in. Okay. Okay. There was no Hitler like it. First of all, this movie gave me so much anxiety because I was like, man, this is a Disney whatever type of movie, because like they feel way too safe for this creepy ass dude to walk up to the gate and the girl just standing there just talking to him. And I'm just like I had to remember what type of movie this was, because I was starting to get like anxiety, like he about to kidnap this bitch. like she's about to get, like he about to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like I forgot that this wasn't even that type of movie because of just that situation. I'm just like, how is that even, feasible? And even when the mom
just
came
goes
and
to
got
show
her,
you also that at one point she does get kidnapped, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a fun part of the plot. Like that to me is like, oh, right. Like, what kind of message are we sending to people that, like, yeah, if you'll get kidnapped, you'll just fall in love with the kid and then you'll be fine.
And live happily
like, no, she does end up getting kidnapped, and it's like, no, whatever, it's not a big deal. They're nice Irish immortals.
Right. But like I said, BA, bless you, in this world, the Hitler of this world was a guy who basically just wanted to find people who wanted to live forever and then just make them pay him to drink from it.
Well, yeah, but that is, I mean, I think the message is that eventually a guy like Hitler would buy it. Like, I think that is the thing. This movie does ask, this like book and movie, it asks some good questions, about like, if you could live forever, would you want to? And like, stuff like that. Like, those are good questions to ask. I think this book got banned at one point. I think this book was like controversial for some reason. I don't remember exactly why, but I remember like when we were reading the book in elementary school that they had mentioned that it had been controversial in the past. But this movie asks some good questions, I think. And it's very like Disney. I think the acting was good. It had, good acting, a good cast. I think several of these people have been nominated or won Academy Awards. So it was a good movie. I didn't hate it.
Cheesy as fuck. I mean, they stole the they stole the fucking Titanic line. Don't let me go. I won't let you go. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Right. Jesus Christ. We've seen this already. They're doing the fucking. I wonder is that where they got that scene from the Moonlight? Remember he was carrying him in the water? I thought about that. Like that whole, like, what does that mean? That must be like symbolic of something. That whole like teaching somebody how to swim. Like, it's always somebody can't swim, that you put them on the back and hold them in the arms and like swish them through the water. Like that has to mean something. That that was the same thing. I literally thought about Moonlight when I seen that scene. Even though they did it first, obviously. But they definitely stole the.
Yeah, Moonlight got it from Chuck Everlasting.
Right.
Possible.
Yeah. All right. That's how you know these are some shitty movies. We don't even have much to say. We usually talk about shit for a long time.
Yeah,
man,
it wasn't as good as I remember, but it was nice to just go in and rewatch it because you know I have a different mindset now, so it's like watching watching some kid movie like watching uh for Lion King for sake, is a lot different from watching it now from versus then.
this movie looked like one of it seemed like one of those movies that I would have never heard of outside of like watching the Oscars, and it would have it would have won like best picture over something else that you thought should have won, and then that's when you go back and check it out and you be like, wait, this shit won. It felt like one of those type of movies to me.
It's like
Almost kind of
water.
right. Almost like The Shape of Water.
I was highly upset when Shape of
But
Water.
see, I think I need to go back and watch Shape of Water, not as a filmmaker. Maybe I may have a different perspective if I look at it differently. But as watching it as an audience member, I was not impressed. I was like, this is stupid.
Bad movie. I was like, so the best thing about this movie is the fact that everyone's like, oh, she has sex with a fish. Well, I'm anxiously waiting for her. I'm like, okay, let's see the fish sex. And then next thing you know, they cut. I'm like, what the hell? What is everyone excited about?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Anyways, all right. Well, I guess that's it for Tuck Everlasting. Yeah. Nothing else.
It's not as everlasting as the.
You're gonna tuck it away inside the wrinkle of time and put it away for everlasting. Gotcha. All right. Last but certainly not least, Fantastic Mr. Fox, 2009 film, director Wes Anderson, starring Wes Anderson, Meryl Streep, George Clooney, Bill Murray, and a host of others.
I did not know they had such an all-star cast on this.
I didn't either. And that's one good thing before we get into. That's one good thing I do like about just say voiceover work. Like I do much better when I enjoy somebody's voice that sounds familiar, but I don't really know who it is. Because like sometimes, like if I listen to somebody's voice and I definitely know, like, oh yeah, that's Kevin Hart. It kind of takes me out of it because I know him too well. You know what I'm saying? But with this cast, these are all people who I know, but I don't like look at them on social media every day. You know what I'm saying? So like when I heard
also most of them had never done voiceover work before this movie. So
exactly. So it worked out. But anyways, nonetheless, so let's vote real quick and we'll get more into it. On the count of three, give your thumbs 1, 2, and 3. Double thumbs up for me. DA didn't like it too much.
I actually, so if I can go first, I actually liked this movie. I just thought it was very Wes Anderson. And that's not a bad thing. It's not like Wes Anderson is like this bad director or anything. But, it was just very Wes Anderson. It's like if you watch a Spielberg movie, it's Spielberg. And it's kind of like, okay.
I know Wes Anderson's name, but I don't know him enough to know what that reference means. It's so Wes Anderson. What does that mean?
Okay, so
Wes Anderson, I mean, he has like probably out of any director living today, he probably has the most uniquely identifiable style of any filmmaker there is.
What's the one movie he did with the dogs?
Isle of Dogs. He did Moonrise Kingdom, Royal Tenenbaums, Aquatic Life of Steve Zissou, Rushmore,
any of these.
Darjeeling Limited.
Isle of Dogs.
I've never heard of it.
I mean, they're great films. I love Wes Anderson. I think he's a great director. I used to not like him when I was a kid, but as I got older, this was actually the first movie I watched of his that really changed my tune for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's always fun to watch and whatnot, but it's not like again, I enjoyed the movie. I thought the whole perspective of it, these animals who can actually talk to humans, which was a little weird, but it's still animals, and they're trying to do all this stuff, and this guy who had to basically leave his life of crime, and then he's going back for this last last hurrah and ends up causing this big trouble. I thought every character was so well defined and whatnot. It was fun to watch, especially the boy and the cousin relationship. Beautiful. I thought that was beautiful. But again, like I said, I just thought it was very Wes Anderson, and that's not a bad thing. It's just
But
that's just
it
my
must be you gave it a 5.
no. I was like this. I like it. There's some things I don't like about it. And they're not like big things, but I'll go back to a thumbs up. I enjoyed it, but it was very Wes Anderson. Like I'm watching it, and I'm just like, because this was my first time watching it. And I was like, this is Wes Anderson off tops, and then I looked it up. He was even acting in the damn shit.
Right. He had a very small part, but yes, he is a part. He is in it.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it.
This is my first time hearing of it or seeing it. I mean, I thought it was very, very unique. I mean, this to me, Lonnie, I would say, because I know you speak about it the most in reference to like identifying movies that we watch that are like one of a kind. You know, we kind of talked about it with like Stranger Than Fiction, just saying like there's never been something like this hasn't been done before. So I will say, granted, I have not done my homework, so I haven't looked up every movie that would be similar to this movie. But I will say if something like this has been done before, I've never seen it.
No.
So in reference to this movie, I've never seen anything done like this before. Even creatively, like not only the visual stuff of it creatively, but the dialogue, the references, using cuss, you know what I'm saying, or whatever like that. Like I don't even know a lot of the things that they were saying. Excuse me. I knew it had something to do with something, but I didn't necessarily know what it was. But it still was funny because I got what they were trying to do. Because even like with cuss, I wasn't sure if they were just literally using the word cuss in replace for every cuss word, or does cuss also, is it a play on words that deal with something with foxes or farms, animals, whatever? You know what I'm saying? You can answer that, Lonnie, I guess, whenever you talk, but I didn't know, but it didn't matter to me because I understood what they were doing. Every little innuendo, whatever, like I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so I thought this movie was very brilliant. I thought it was very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Even the visual stuff, the way that they show smoke, or the way that they show them, the way they show them eating.
I love that. I mean, this movie is so like, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's like aware of itself, but not like it's not too like aware of itself, if that makes sense.
Right. I mean, even just using the whole like real estate aspect of a fox just kind of just, I guess wanting something different, just all that stuff to me just was, and the rat with the, the little snap or whatever, it was just small stuff in here that I necessarily didn't know why it was happening, but it just was funny and enjoyable to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just was.
I did.
This movie, like there was a lot of parts of it where it's puppets, right? And it's stop motion. And, this whole movie is done by hand. I think there's only one scene in the entire movie that they even use one visual effect with computers. All the hair is real human hair. Like this movie was done wonderfully, like they really, really, that's Wes Anderson. Every frame is a painting. There was like these really great moments in the film where, they're animals, but then all of a sudden he's in Christopherson is in a milk crate in the attic, and it felt real. Like you have the scale of him, and it's this tiny little fox, but then, in other times, like his perspective had changed. And now you see him and he's like this big. He's like a tiny, tiny little thing.
Right.
I love the train sets, and Wes Anderson, he like really does it for me. When I first saw this movie, this movie was like very beneficial for my life. I really, really fell in love with cinema because of this movie. It was one of the movies that really made me fall in love with cinema. That scene at the end with the wolf, when the wolf like puts his fist up, just so many great scenes. And Meryl Streep kills it as the actress. I literally there's not one part of this movie I don't like. I love Owen Wilson and the like baseball scene, and that's what it's like trying to explain baseball to somebody who has no idea what baseball is like. And I don't know, man. I really, really love this movie. And I was so happy to see it on Disney Plus.
Lonnie, was that not cricket?
Yeah, it's cricket and baseball, but yeah, it's both. Sure.
Oh, I thought
yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I think there are definitely parts of both, but sure, it is would definitely be a little bit more cricket than baseball. But you know, the voice acting and I love this movie. I can't get enough of it. I've seen it 100 times.
Another great thing about this movie is like I said earlier, the character development. I mean, giving each character kind of their you really saw the personalities of each character. I mean, with the whole with Mr. Fox with his little thing, his little, what is it called? Trademark symbol or whatever. I don't know what it's called. Forgive me. But I thought that was nice. And then like you guys mentioned earlier, when they would eat, the first time I saw it, I was like, what the hell? What the hell? Are they not proper? they just go at it.
That shit was hilarious.
And then
that's kind of like how Brian in Family Guy, like he's a normal dog, but then if the vacuum goes off, he freaks out and just becomes a dog again. Like, but he can talk to humans.
Right.
I love that stuff. Like, you know, where they dig. I love the way that they dig and stuff like that.
Right.
I love it when he is arguing with the attorney and they like they turn
right.
You know. But he's also a lawyer and he's like he's trying to tell him not to buy a house.
Right.
It's really great. He's like, the scene where he's like, I don't want to live in a hole. It makes me feel poor. And she's like, well, we're poor. It's a kid's movie,
right.
You know?
Right. But like you said, but this one, it caters to the adult audience as well. Like it really allows you to get both sides. Like you can be entertained as a kid and watch this, but you can also be just as entertained as an adult. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, very, very much attention to detail, even with just small stuff like, human time versus Fox time. You know what I'm saying? Like with the, one day, how many weeks or whatever it was to Fox. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just, the foxes are meant to live in holes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just all the different stuff. I mean, it like they didn't take a unique idea, A Wrinkle in Time, and waste the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like they went balls to the wall with it and definitely.
I mean, even just the like detail of the things on the shelves and everything felt lived in and real. I love the scene of him the farmer getting pissed at the other two farmers and tearing the room apart. That just felt real. Like him getting pissed and that his hair is all like disheveled and stuff like that. So to go from to have that in what is considered a children's movie was excellent. So the author is Roald Dahl. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he wrote like Willy Wonka and the Charlie Chocolate Factory. He wrote James and the Giant Peach, The Witches. Like he was one of my favorite authors when I was a kid. So that's why I said I had read this book as well. Perfect movie. I watched this movie when I was 20 years old and I couldn't get enough of it. But I think also if I would have watched it when I was 6, I would have also loved it, like James and the Giant Peach.
Right. Yeah. James and the Giant Peach lit.
Classic.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that this is equally a classic as James and the Giant Peach.
This is more unique. I mean, James and the Giant Peach is it's a good children's story in the sense of it gives you a different adventure, if you will, like because you got the whole Giant Peach aspect, kind of like a Magic School Bus, like you get on this school bus and kind of try. So it's kind of like a different perspective in the sense of what you can see and visualize or whatever. But this one, to me, I think it gives you like a human a humanized perspective of like foxes. You know what I'm saying? Like a fox's real life, but like in human perspective, like even the predicaments that they were in when she said, I'm pregnant or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it was that was equivalent to basically like shit hitting the fan for them. Like, I've been doing this job and I, you know, and I promise her I can't do it no more. Like I'm leaving the streets to go, you know, to go legit type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a kid now, whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but they allowed you to get that reference, but with Fox terms. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be a chicken thief. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Right.
You know. So it's I like, to me, I think that's what gives this, you know, kind of the edge to me in reference to like the uniqueness. I think definitely. I mean, being equal classic, sure, but in reference to like the uniqueness as far as to James and the Giant Peach. I think James and the Giant Peach is a very, you know, different story all in itself. But this takes the cake for me in reference to like a perspective, you know, an animal's perspective, but even human. Because Finding Nemo did a good job of that too. Finding Nemo does a good job of like, you know, having humanized perspective in reference to fish. But even just visually, like you said, the whole puppet thing or whatever, you know, all by hand. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine how long it took to make this movie. You know what I'm saying? Good job, Dia.
Yeah.
Good job, Dia. Good job.
I'm sorry.
Real professional. No, but yeah,
first he was trying to impress us with Martin. Now he's trying to impress us as a businessman, getting phone calls.
Right. But
anyone important.
Yeah, no, I definitely, like I said, I had never even heard of this film before. This is my first time even hearing it. But it was dope. It was dope. I was surprised it didn't like win any like Oscars or whatever.
Right.
Because it was. I
think it's a little too niche, you know, for Academy Awards. But you know, a guy like Wes Anderson, his movies always have, you know, he has his like clique. He has his like group of people that are always going to do his movies, like Owen Wilson, who had a role in this movie, Jason Schwartzman. You know, he has that group of people who are almost always going to be in his films, but he's always getting huge names to be in his film. So that just goes to show you his, like, the amount of respect he gets, you know?
Right.
But Rudy, I would definitely, if you like this movie, I would definitely go a little deeper. You know, this movie has a much different tone, I would say, from the rest of Wes Anderson's films, but like The Royal Tenenbaums and Rushmore, The Life Aquatic, you know, they're all equally as unique, but they also all have a similar style as Fantastic Mr. Fox. So if you like this movie, I would definitely do a deeper dive.
They're all puppetized like this?
No.
Oh,
this is the only one that's like that. The rest of them are live action, and they're also much more like adult. Like they're much more serious.
No, he has a couple where they're stop motion. Remember,
that's not Wes Anderson.
Isle of Dogs, he did that, right?
Oh, right. Isle of Dogs. He did do another one, Isle of Dogs, which is also very, very good.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know. I'll check him out. I check old Wes out.
He was roommates with Owen Wilson in college.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, this one was definitely. I think I actually had watched this one first. So I was actually wishing I had watched it last. This was my relief of the three. But nonetheless, you know, this one definitely took the cake in reference to best movies of the three for this week. But I was glad that I've even seen the other two in general, because I like to see movies that I haven't, you know, seen before, or didn't remember. You know, so it's good exposure. But you know, Tuck Everlasting in The Wrinkle in Time, I'm sure they have their audience, but I'm not in it. So you know. Nonetheless, all right. Well, do y'all have anything else for the three movies before we go into the numbers?
No.
All right.
My favorite shot of Fantastic Mr. Fox is the wolf.
Right. What exactly did that mean? Like what was the whole like?
So I think the wolf,
the unity thing or whatever.
I think the wolf is also on his own tail of like in his own wilderness trying to survive the same way that the fox is.
Right. And
even though that they're different but the same, right? Like the wolf and the fox, they're both kind of like the dog family, but they exist. They don't interact. They're not in the same circles, but they still are able to like find a common connection.
Mm.
You know, that's my takeaway from it. And even though they don't speak the same language, like he was trying to talk to the wolf and the wolf didn't speak to him, but he was able to just like give him his hand and able to like, you know, you see the wolf as this like very menacing, scary thing, but really the real scary people were the humans, right? That were trying to murder them.
Right.
And he says like, yeah, I have a phobia of wolves. Like I'm afraid of wolves, but he's going into the like bad, you know, he's like going towards the machine guns and all that stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
to me, that was just them. Like they both live in their own world that they never intersect with, but they have things in common enough to relate to each other.
Right.
You see, I actually took it as him overcoming his, because they were all at the beginning. They all had a character flaw, you know, of kind of a fear. You know, the kid feels like he wasn't good enough. That's his fear. You know, I felt like the cousin was afraid of actually not being able to fit in really truly. And then the dad, you know, like Lonnie said, his fear was was of the wolf, you know. And then I felt like that was him, you know, overcoming his fear, and maybe feeling like he maybe feeling like they're both wild animals, you know. They have some connection. And then at the end, he said, well, just before he left, he said, "What a majestic creature."
So were you agreeing with Lonnie, or was this supposed to be a dispute? I feel like you just literally said the exact same thing he said.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, like
I wasn't agreeing or disagreeing. I was saying what I got from it. That's all.
But I'm saying, but I don't know. I guess because you kind of approached it, I thought you were gonna say like something like different, you know. But
I thought that was different. But
he literally said the same thing. Like they come from two different worlds, but they found like because even with you, I mean, you added that he got over his fear, but Lonnie also mentioned the phobia. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just thought
that's what his fear was.
Right. Well, that's what a phobia is. That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is that the way you approach it, you was just like, well, I mean, actually, what I got from it, and then you said what Lonnie said just in your own words, in reference to like these are two wild animals that don't come from the same world, but they found, you know, the common brotherhood.
Yeah.
Black power.
I wasn't disagreeing or I wasn't trying to argue or anything. I was just saying what I got.
I'm copping off a Lonnie test. That's all that was. Sure. Looking at his paper.
I'll be off right now. Foreshadow.
All right. All right, cool, man. Well, let's get into these budgets and box offices. All three of these have budgets in box office, so we don't have any Rotten Tomato scores today. Starting with Fantastic Mr. Fox. Once again, 2009 film. What do you think the budget was for this movie?
I'm gonna go with maybe 10.
10?
Oh, I'm gonna say way more than that. Probably like
I'm gonna go with 15.
15.
I'm gonna say like 35 35 40 something like that. 35 37.5.
37.5, right in the middle. Well, I mean, you probably should just went ahead with 40 because it was 40 on the dot. 40 million. And then the box office. What do you think made the box office?
To like the actors or something.
Right.
The production cost that much.
I couldn't tell you. I mean, I've never done.
What movie are we talking? Everlasting?
Fantastic Mr. Fox. Weirdo. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought we moved on
to the box office.
Oh,
I don't think this movie made that much money, but it probably made its money back. So like maybe 60 million, 55 million.
I feel like Wes Anderson was kind of big, and it's a kids movie, so I'm gonna go with 80.
80, and you say 55, Lonnie?
Yeah.
Lonnie, you definitely had the right idea. It definitely didn't make a lot, but made its money back. It actually only made 46.5 million.
Yeah.
46.5 million. $6.5 million profit. All right, Tuck Everlasting, 2002 film. What do you think the budget was for this?
12 million.
12.
I'm gonna go with
30. Actually, $15 million. You're all over the place, DA. Yeah, 15 million for Tuck Everlasting. And then what do you think it made in the box office? 60.
25.
25. Man, Lonnie's on a roll. It made 19.3 million. I thought you was gonna come back down, DA, after you said 15 and it wasn't 30. I thought you was gonna come back down. You went off of it was 30. Like, yes, they probably made it 60.
No, I thought it was a bigger hit than what.
It's because you actually like the movie. All right, cool. And then A Wrinkle in Time, 2018 film. Lonnie already kind of made his prediction earlier, but what you say?
What
the
did I say? I said
was?
100 million, right?
You said definitely over 100. You didn't give an exact number though. You just
so
said
I'm just gonna go with $100 million. Let's say that.
All right, 100 million.
140.
140. It actually was $103 million. 103 million was the budget. And let's see if Lonnie can get it for a clean
3 million was cocaine, so they could numb all their fucking pain from making this piece of shit movie. Like, it was originally 100 million, but then over the course of like making it, they were all like so depressed that they had to buy cocaine. So
they had to go back. They had to go back to the studio and get $3 million more dollars.
They're not coming in. They're not happy about it. All right, buy them some coke.
Right. Yeah, so 103 was the budget, and then what do you think the box office was?
150.
150.
I want to say maybe 110. 115.
115.
115. I'll go with 115.
115, 115. So I guess DA was technically closest without going over. It made 133.4. 133.4 in the box office. So
I went by default.
They actually made the most profit out of these three movies, but none of these three movies made basically anything. They all like got their money back and a few more millions over. So you know, I thought
nobody was making money on the back end here.
Right. No, not at all. No, everybody got whatever they agreed to in the beginning. that's what they got. So they got their flat fee. But nonetheless, I mean, at least they didn't, lose money. So, that works. Well, cool, man. A Wrinkle in Time, Tuck Everlasting, and Fantastic Mr. Fox. Those are our final three movies of the year. Good little, mix up or whatever. There was another movie that I thought was on Disney Plus, but it's not. I was gonna wonder if y'all had seen, but I'll keep doing some more digging. But we'll come back next year. We'll keep this thing popping. So you guys want to go ahead and plug yourselves away. Lonnie, you got your sign on deck. There it is. You can find him at the Cox Comedy.
Cox Comedy.
Shout out to Rusty Harry.
Got nothing going on except my newly single status. Lauren is
I'm sorry to hear.
Back to the streets.
Yeah.
So.
Back to the streets. Got you. Okay. Well, welcome, man. You know, I've been out here for about 2 years, almost 3 years now. You know, and
yeah, I'm not gonna say it's good to be back yet because it's still a little raw, but might change soon.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I haven't done shit since quarantine, so it's been pretty ugly for me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting a little desperate, ready to call the old ex at this point.
Fan favorite.
Should I call the one who beat my ass or the one who threw me in jail? Let's figure out which one. All right. DA, what you got?
I'm gonna change my handle to strippers and tippers.
Why?
I'm joking.
Why?
I mean, we know you're joking, but there's no context.
right.
No, I just didn't want to say my handle.
He went straight to the punchline. No setup. Strippers and tippers. Okay.
But D__Henry. Yeah, I got nothing going from. I've actually reached out to a couple more actors on for the Redlands, so waiting to hear back from them. Hopefully they like it.
Like, you mean like in reference to like known actors, or just actors in general?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know him, but he's been in like stuff. His name is Lamorne Morris.
That's fucking Winston.
Well, I didn't know if you guys know who these.
And he's in Woke.
Yeah, he's in Woke.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I reached out to him. I reached out to his manager. And I sent over the script, so I'm just waiting to hear back. So.
Gotcha. Dope shit. Well, yeah, man. Rudy Willy Nilly Wonka. Instagram, rudycomedy.com. No Life Boys Productions YouTube channel is where this will be. This episode will be up Thursday on that page. And like I said, this is the season 1 finale. We will be gone, but not forgotten. We'll be posting, reposting, and promoting the episodes that you probably haven't seen yet. So go back and watch them, binge watch them. Let us know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, share it with somebody, let somebody know, and then we'll be back next year with some more movies, more opinions, and I don't know, maybe more people. We'll see what happens. Maybe get a female in here. Female or two, shake things up. So other than that, man, we out.
Bye.
Peace.